Plant fats versus animal fats, because some of you cannot break down animal fats, and then you think you could do some olive oil to get into ketosis. So let's do the deep dive. Welcome everyone. Let's get into the fat facts again. This stuff is kind of all similar. I find little nuances to help people understand the importance of animal fats, which I haven't done a video quite exactly like this. When you're doing carnivore, some people will cook with olive oil or avocado oil, or sometimes they're zealots and they just strictly do animal fat. These are considered long chain fatty acids. They're dense, they're thick and chunky. Plant fats can be mixed, except for the caveat of butter. Butter has a little bit of MCTs, which is a medium chain triglyceride. And medium meaning long, medium, long, medium. The medium chain triglycerides meaning fat, they're much smaller. And they're easier to digest. If you take coconut oil, which is 60% MCT, medium chain triglyceride, they're so small that you don't need a gallbladder to break it down. So people feel fine doing coconut oil, which is, people are consuming MCT oil because there was a trend that MCT oil gave you great brain health. Nonsense. It's the coconut oil because it has the lauric acid in it and still quite a lot of MCT. Now, pure MCT, which I believe is 98 or 99%, does it give you great brain health? No. And it's processed, and it's devoid of lauric acid. And it doesn't fight against pathogens and candida like coconut oil. So just take the coconut oil, virgin, much cheaper. But here's the thing, it's a saturated fat, but it doesn't work like animal fat. The only problem with coconut oil is that it's not rich in fat-soluble vitamins. It has some. It doesn't have D, I believe. It's got vitamin E in it, which is great for the skin, but it's tiny. So we're not getting our vitamins from coconut oil. We're getting lauric acid. And that's the reason why I do these videos, so you guys understand what to friggin' do. Now, people say that coconut oil puts you into ketosis, or MCT oil puts you into ketosis. It doesn't. You will see a little bit more ketones in the blood when eating coconut oil, but if that blood sugar is not stable, the ketones will not be absorbed or utilized. You can make them. That doesn't mean anything. You got to use those ketones, and that's why people think they're in ketosis. Even at a 2.0, or most people have like a 0.5. They're like, I'm in ketosis. I'm like, you're not. You're making a wee bit amount of ketones. That's it. Coconut oil is something that you can use for oil pulling, to pull out nastiness and pathogens and grossness out of the body. But as a ketogenic fat, because you think you're in ketosis, no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Or as the Swedish say, finns inte väg man är på ketosis när man äter coconut oil. So we got to be careful on the stuff that we're taught and we learn, because often it is wrong, because just people haven't tried and tested these theories. That's really what they are, like autophagy. I know, but the whole fasting craze. That leaves the animal fats. So the animal fats, there's long chain again and medium chain. Now butter is a caveat. It does have some medium chain. It also has cholesterol and mono and poly and vitamin D, E, A, and K. It's fantastic, really good source of vitamin A, K, for D, for everything. literally your immune system, your hormones. You can't make this stuff up. The tallow and the lard are a little bit different, but they're animal fats. But butter I would consider more nutritious, the most nutritious animal fat, definitely, because it's loaded with good stuff. Tallow is great too. Oh yeah, butter has omega-3s in it, but tallow has a really good source of vitamin D, E, A, and K. And that is why when I am prescribing these in my consultations, I am saying, hey, we got to do the animal fat, because those plant fats, well, they're both LCTs, but the plant fats just don't have as much of the nutrient density. They tend to more lean on the monounsaturated side. They can have vitamin E, but they may not have vitamin A or K. Yeah. They're not stable, and they oxidize like crazy. Like, they just get rotten and nasty. Animal fats, they oxidize much slower, because we're made out of animal fat, and our animal fat can take high temperatures. We can be out in Arizona, and then we can be in the Arctic Circle and not turn into a pile of oxidized nothingness. But then plant fats, when you try to squeeze that oil out of that plant, it's already getting yucky and oxidizing and can get kind of toxic, especially when you cook it. You use plant fats, it is a wrap, my people. You want to age fast? You want to clog your arteries? Clog it on some cooked olive oil where it's burning and you can see the smoke. Now, all avocado oil has a higher smoke point, but dang if they don't mix canola oil in most of the brands. It's like we're just constantly getting like bombarded with junk quality in every direction. And that's why you should make your own butter if you don't have a histamine response to it. Long chain and short chain, the medium, short chain fatty acids are easier to digest. A lot of you have a gallbladder issue. But the long chains plants and animal fat are considered LCTs. And there's one really important reason why it is easier to digest plant fat besides coconut oil. If we take coconut oil off, plant fats are long chain triglycerides. They're thick and chunky, but the reason why they are easier to digest, like medium chain, like the coconut oil thing, is because they're not thick, dense structures. They're long chain triglycerides, but they're oily. They're much easier to digest, hence needing less of a gallbladder to digest it. So a lot of people, when I'm like, okay, for the very short amount of time, we're going to work on fixing the gallbladder, and we're going to do less animal fat and more plant fat for the short term. Now, with that said, you still need a gallbladder for long chain triglycerides and plant fats, fatty acids. Some don't notice anything, but most of the time you don't. Our stomachs do produce a little bit of lipase, so digestion starts in the stomach, but it's not a lot of fat. That's why people suffer without a gallbladder with animal fat. So basically, animal fat is way more nutrient dense, fat soluble vitamins, and with especially things like K2 and vitamin A, vitamin E. And that is why I believe that my skin has not aged, because you guys know I'm officially 57. And you can go back to my earlier videos where I'm like, I'm 46. Oh my God, so crazy. Time just goes boom. But yeah, I really attribute the quality of my skin, even though I'm a brown person, I really connect it to eating all the fat, the tallow, the lard, and especially the butter for the last 17 years. It's quite amazing. I'm really kind of proud of that record. You know, instead of eating carbs or pizza that destroys cells, I'm eating fat with fat soluble vitamins that actually fix cells. So it's especially skin cells with vitamin E. Honey, you cannot compare animal fat to plant fat. There's just no comparison. But if for the short term, for example, in a meal, if you're trying to fix the gallbladder, you would do only 1 tablespoon of fat and let's say 3 tablespoons of a high quality olive oil, and you would do that for a short term and then work on fixing the gallbladder. And then you get off of the plant fat and you go strictly back to, that's my dog Dale. Then we gotta go back to the animal fat, and I gotta go check him right now. Right now. We gotta do this right now. So, nope, he's not being quiet. We gotta get him now. If you guys want to learn more, go to stephanieperson.com, book a consultation. I'm telling you guys, I've done this for a long time. And if you're struggling, yeah, I mean, I got this. I feel like this is my lane, my passion. I'm an autodidact. I've learned very much through all my clients, and not some stupid, subjective, funded study that's very subjective. People. You learn through people. Yeah. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Stephanie Ketogenic, not on TikTok because I just can't do any more social media. You can go to Stephanie the Business Person on my Facebook fan page, and I do run a course. You can sign up for that on my website. It's $15 a month, but in this case, I cover all 3 diets. So for those who have like a gallbladder problem and they cannot do any animal fat, and then there is a strategy on what kind of plant fat for that individual who's doing low carb, high fat till they fix the gallbladder. Or if you can do a wee bit of fat and fix the gallbladder, like 45 grams in a day, and then probably 150 coming from plant fat while fixing the gallbladder, and then you get off the plant fat and you go straight to the animal fat. It's hard. A lot of people don't know how to do it. Also, I'm working on all projects. I'm not going to say what they are because I got to actually finish them. I am burning the candle at both ends because I'm building a house. I'm building a little cottage for my mom. I just got, no, not done. We're in the process of building a guest room in my barn. Yeah, and I'm working with 3 different crews. So it's a lot. It's a lot to manage everything, and then all the animals, and then my dog, my puppy, somebody dumped him on my land filled with worms and fleas and underweight, and now he's happy dog. Happy dog, happy, what can I rhyme that with? Happy dog, happy frog? No. Happy ranch. Happy Stephanie. Share this content, comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this stuff, because I guess that's the speech you're supposed to say, which I always forget to do. I know. Stay tuned and check out my shorts where I'm showing people a little bit more of my lifestyle and the animals. Peace.